Recording in progress.
Me, I think. Hang on just a sec. Welcome to 2022. Okay. Let's loosen these old carcasses up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 2. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4. 5. 2, 2. Okay, just gonna hold your forehead in that. Just rest there. Hold. Keep Daniel says you have to be okay. Hold. One. Right side. Left side. Left side. And with your hands, push towards your face. Okay. Use your hands. Slowly. Okay, the shoulder roll forward to start with.
backwards. I'm trying to accept any students here. And one,
Yes, please.
Yes,
More
please.
members.
back. Let's move again. Right, okay. And we'll go on to that. And moving on 1 point forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Straight through that. So let the weight fall down this previous. Good. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Right, that's. Ready? And legs up to 90 degrees. And up. Close. Open. And let's try. Open. Close. And close. Down to about 2 inches. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Good. And just lift your spine up. Arch and flatten it against them. Up. And flat. Up. Left leg over. And roll. Gently. Right. I thought tonight we would talk about balance. Because it seems to me that balance is kind of central to our art. Why? It is what it's all about in many, many ways. So what areas of balance are we interested in?
Balance.
Yep.
Centralized balance.
We're interested in certainly our own physical balance on a physical level. I've already. Stand there will be lovely. Okay, so we've got a comparatively nice straight line, I think. So our test. I would say this system is in balance. But if I just adjust it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I moved that more than about an inch and a half. The test now. The system is not so stable, so it doesn't take much to knock us out of kilter. Okay, so it's back into where we're comfortable. Yep, he's good. Boom! Well, if I can disturb his mental or emotional balance, that too has an impact on the body. There's not a state that we want to be. So much of Aikido is about finding that personal balance. Because why do you want to do that? Why is that important? And why? So yes, you're right, it is, but why is it? Yeah. Any other thing, words you want to say? I'll take words from the floor. Why? Yeah, so I mean, for me, I would say it's all about optimal performance, giving you a chance to perform at your optimum best. If you're not in balance, if you're kind of jangled up emotionally or physically, you're kind of looking at the ground, any small shock that comes along, and you don't cope very well with it. So,
And we're more grounded.
say that again, Renal.
We're more grounded.
Yeah, you are more grounded. Absolutely. So when you're balanced, you're also grounded, you're also centered. You would say that being centered is another expression of balance, isn't it? When we think about weighing scales, we want it to be equally balanced around the center. So center's definitely got something to do with balance. But whatever we're going to take on, whether it's on this mat or whether it's off the mat, we want to be in balance to have our best chance of dealing with what's going to meet us today. Did you know what was going to happen to you today?
Yes.
Exactly. Did it all work exactly as you thought it would?
Exactly. Well, never. Nothing is exactly. Nothing is absolute.
No, nothing.
Even balance is actually not absolute either.
Right, I can go up to that office 9 till 5, 5 days a week, but I never know who's going to ring, what bit of paper I'm going to get, whether it's going to be good news or bad news. And what am I going to do when I get a series of bad news? Often you get upset. Does that help you deal with it? No, it doesn't. So balance is really important. If you don't sort yourself out, you don't have that personal balance, that ability to readjust the compass, why would you expect anybody else to be able to do that?
You mentioned personal balance. Doesn't mean like each person's balance is different.
Everybody's responsible for their own balance. And
Which
we're all
means kind of like
human beings,
your
so
balance could be perhaps too laid back for somebody or vice versa.
well, down to the testing, I think, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
From a personal point of view, I find balance. That means that I have many situations where I have to stay balanced. And the person I'm dealing with, the people I'm dealing with are unbalanced. My balanced approach brings everything straight back into balance.
Okay, which kind of brings me to the next part of this, right? No, really good. Yeah. Okay, so it's good for us. But if we want to make an impact on the world, are we ever going to be able to do that if we're unbalanced ourselves? When we are balanced, we can see when other people aren't, or when a situation is unbalanced. Yeah? And we can do something about that. Not always, but a lot of the time we can adjust and we can we can help that situation get back into balance. So I would say the practice of Aikido is all about that. When somebody has got to the stage where they want to attack you, are they in balance? I don't think they are. Our job is kind of to reset them. So at the end of it, they're left feeling, wow, he could have killed me, but he didn't. And you know, both people walk away feeling better when they really get serious. Obviously, we don't practice.
This is something that I think I talked from the very beginning. It took a long time is to always put myself in
Yes.
so from their eyes, the balanced situation. And
Exactly. I feel you want to say something. I know you want to say
Yes.
something.
Well, it doesn't mean that, like, if we're trying to, at least try to rebalance somebody who's out of balance, doesn't it actually take us outside of our balance as well? But we're approaching the other person with exactly the antithetical approach. Because if somebody's in balance is angry, then it doesn't actually help if I'm just passive. I need to actually approach things from the more kind of like
from
active,
from a positive point of
from a
view,
positive point of view,
so you meet the negative.
which means I don't always have to be in balance in that respect.
Oh, no, I think there's kind of a settling, but you can be more energetic and be more active, but you can still be in personal balance.
Well, it depends again what it means, because now for example, physical movement can actually, it requires an imbalance.
Okay, yes, they say that when you walk, there is a moment of unbalance.
We have to create an imbalance in order to be able to get.
Yes, that's true, but at the end of the day, we're still performing optimally at a very high level, and I think on most levels people will say that. You should be able to test me if you're out of technique, and I should not fall over. So in that sense, I'm balanced. But I am changing my state from where I was at to react to what's going on in front of me. I'm going to be more active or more passive. I might be quieter because you're being so loud. So we make the appropriate adjustment because we see it for what it is. So when you're really shouting at me, and then instead of me shouting back, I go quiet. Does that mean I'm out of balance? No, because I'm making a controlled decision that that's the right approach to the situation. So I would say you're still pretty clear-sighted.
So it's actually a kind of a dynamic, to play the words, a dynamic state of balance, where you can, at will, be able to move out of balance, be able to come back again.
I'm not sure you're comfortable with coming out of balance. I know where you're coming
Well, it's the Indian principle.
Yeah,
Everything,
yes.
especially when we talk about Aikido, it's
Yes.
all about
But
the
I think there's
duality.
there's a dynamic there, but I think the very fact that you're reacting in balance with the situation, so the balance stops being about you and it becomes about the situation. So you have to meet that yin with that yang, or that yang with this yin. And so you are rebalancing it in that sense. But the situation becomes in balance. And once it's in balance, everything, including yourself, comes back to here. So we can play with the words, but we know when we're practicing that when it's working well, we just feel really good. And we know when we're stumbling or we're clumsy or whatever.
Usually kind of like we get out of physical balance because our ego, our want, comes usually
It can be that, but it can be so much more than that. It can be a lack of ego. It can be a complete lack of confidence that means that we're out of balance. So everybody, all of you, every single one of you, including me, comes to this mat with different problems, with different needs that have to be met. So that's the beauty. We get to practice with all these different requirements. We've got to adjust our practice with who we've got. Would you practice with Caitlin in the same way you practice with me? Probably not. Caitlin, you probably practice with a beginner in a completely different way than you would if you were practicing with me. So we're always adjusting for what's in front of us and what we feel is going on. Okay, so let's go back to action. Right, so
yes.
yes. Let's going to do that. I'm going to show you actually.
Okay, sure.
Right, so but I want to be in balance. The physical balance is I'm matching his action. There's a kind of unification here. I'm not going, oh, what's he doing here? That one. So I have to balance this. Now I can do that. I can change it. But I only do that because I know that the next move is that he wants to go down after he's gone up. Yeah? Does that make sense? He didn't lift his hand, I wouldn't need to drop it, would I? If it stayed there, would be absolutely fine. But that's it, if you do see that's kicking. So I join with that and then talk about it. So we're just going to start with that really basic movement. But what I want you to do is I want you to be really smooth. So what I want to try and avoid is that kind of thing. Oh my God, it's attacking me. I've got to do something about it. Okay? So my first move, hold on, is that I calm down. I'm in balance. I'm taking on board what's going on in front of me. So I can just respond beautifully with it because I'm not excited in the first place. If I was excited, I'm a bit jittery. The timing goes to pot. Even if I'm mimicking it, it goes to pot. But when I'm generally calm and happy with what's going on, you can barely hear that meeting. It should be like that. So if you get that sort of noise, you've done it wrong. You want that kind of noise. Yeah? So let's do that. Let's start the new year with that. Come on, buddy. Yeah. Did you hear that noise? Let's take it down.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, don't do anything down. Wow. If you try to do the down, now, that's kind of what happens. I'm still very down. Once we get into this place, go down. Okay, you need to get into a bit. You want to lost my balance now? No, it's very easy to say. But if you take it and trust it down, I'm still kind of moving solid, round it. Sorry.
You're coming in.
You do exactly.
No, I did it. So, my chair.
Get down.
Better.
Was there any traveling in that direction? It's right down. That's it. Where you going to move my balance? You've done it. That would be disastrous, wouldn't it? So, other points. Right, so I'm looking to blend with what my partner does. So, on that side. Why is that not a blend?
Because you're not going up to this.
Well, I'm going up
You're not making it in the middle there.
much closer to it. Right, so what's his line of travel?
Forward.
It's forward. What's my line of travel? Up. And what was it? It was forward, but it wasn't straight forward.
Basically, so what you got
It wasn't. Watch slowly.
sideways.
I went slightly obliquely. And when I do this, wasn't it? With that, you're still standing there. That's not what we wanted. They'll become so. That's what tends to happen. Now, the good guy turning, but he's still incredibly grounded. So we haven't achieved the balance in the system that we want. So I have to come to here, straightforward. I only concentrate on the up. Right, so at this point he can still hit me if he wants to, right? Pretty close.
Well, only if I.
At the moment, you can
take
take
a forward, then.
Yeah, you can have a step and you put it at this point, yes. Yeah, well,
Just
take a step.
I mean, next step.
You could do that.
Alright.
Now,
Yeah.
now you can't take a step either, can you? And now I can walk straight through him and I know he'll turn. So we go up. Now his system's kind of unbalanced, isn't it? But mine's still pretty balanced. We're going to here. Oh, he gets it back. So I literally walk straight through him, knowing he will either fall backwards, which is stupid, or he'll do the right thing, he'll look at correctly, and he'll turn. So concentrate on the up. Find this place where instead of him being really on point, he's now just off balance. We know that he only has to be a bit unbalanced to be able to move. Here. Obviously, I don't want to stay here forever because that's a possibility, right? But he's already gone. So the next bit becomes really easy. Because as I'm traveling forward, it's kind of impossible for him to stay up. But I don't have to do the down. He'll create the down for me because we've created the up. Yep. Okay, so second thing. Not very balanced.
The charger, like pulling the charger.
Right, was he charging me at the same speed?
Well, it's still charging a bit, so it's gliding.
Collision at some point,
Yeah,
yes.
collision causes an imbalance.
I'm definitely not matching what he's doing. I must do the technique. That's wrong. I know he can't hit me until he arrives. So I don't have to enter. Come on the other side of the room. If I'm on the other side of the room, I could do this. It's probably the same things that we need tackling in a minute. Or I can do this. And I can walk. I don't have, if the space between us, I can choose to enter, or I can choose to wait. Either one is a balanced position, but if he's coming in, I think at this speed, it's just not going to work very well. I'm not really thinking about what's going on with him. I'm so caught up in my needs to do the technique to get this over, and I'm out of balance. And if I'm out of balance with myself, chances of me being in balance with him are slim. Right?
Perhaps like an addition here, because we're doing, you allow me to attack, then your response is appropriate to my attack, because sometimes you actually have to be proactive and move towards me, so
Yes.
you make me attack. So not
Yes.
necessarily you attack me, but it
Yes.
appears to me as if you're poised to attack, and therefore I have to take action at that point.
So it might be that we're having a little bit of a contretemps, okay, and I'm prepared to just see whether he's going to take this on board, or maybe I need to go and help that person over there. So I can't afford to wait to see whether he's going to do it. So I then enter. If he attacks, well, fine, then it's over. If he chooses to stand back and walk away, that's fine. So yes, there's a time to be proactive. If you sense that's what it needs to be, and there's a time to be patient and see if you really want it. It needs to be a situation. So you've done door work.
I've done something.
Right. And there you probably never the first one to throw the punch.
Never have.
You went to see whether they really needed to.
Never needs to.
Yeah, there they are. That patience though solves a lot of problems.
Empathy.
Well,
Not
And
sympathy,
that's
but
it.
empathy
Empathy
with the
and,
situation.
yes,
Yeah.
so empathy and patience solves a lot of problems. Empathy always is. But sometimes it's the way we express that empathy is by being patient with somebody,
Mhm.
and sometimes you need to be proactive and step in and do stuff. Okay, so as we're doing this, just before you attack, okay, take a chance to say, okay, you can partner a nod that you're ready. And make sure that it's nice up, that you're meeting them on the line they're coming. And take it from there. Don't try to rush it down. So if you rush it down, you lost his balance. Right. Heel create down forward. Are we happy? Good. I'm going to come down a bit.
Twice.
So when you touch, it's more like that, as opposed to like that. Not like it's hurting you. We're not doing this in that spirit, sorry. But you want to make your touch as light as possible because it makes it really hard to react against that right touch. That's so you're focusing more on that blend with the energy than you're thinking about the touch. Nice. Here, we're here. So how do you take one to do? You can do so. You see, I'm pretty grounded here. Okay, so when you force it, you make it want to react to that. Two ways of moving. Don't go down, let's have to.
Because usually at this point it has to be done all the time. It's either we go first we
Well,
just up and
it's
down.
working.
No.
Not really. So there's a stop here. We never fight against the stop. What we do is we change it. So we just rotate it.
You know, they do that, it's spin, like spin. I kind of, I make it power at right angles. Touch the ankle, that's what I mean.
Same that lightness of touch. So I've got the shoulder. I can feel that in my shoulder. I don't need to. You don't need to. Just make it easy up. Just carry on rotating the elbow to the elbow facing the ground.
Oh, really? That kind of counts.
So if I do this, there, it's a bit of a twist. Rotate it. Once you've rotated it, don't push anymore. To walk or move.
As you lie, go close to that way. Because you make you take it up again. So do it again as you did, and I'll show you what to do.
I can't feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it, you go there as before.
You kneel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, wait.
Okay.
Good. One more. Yeah, can you? Me. No, the other one. This one. Yeah, kneel here, close to me, and then come down. Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look at that.
Finish.
So, my rule is I don't go down till I need to. So I'm still extending down, very difficult to get up. I go forward until I see that head move. And then I kneel down and I'll place one in his arm and one here. As a general move. I might do it slightly different with Pete because he's very muscly. I might wrap him around like that. Finally, big blows, that's more effective. He goes the opposite. He's very flexible, so this is more appropriate. Here I've got a reason, and I still here. But I want to stay really close, and I want to stay really light, because if I give him something to fight against, immediately he's there. This is a light pin. It's light, but I'm staying here as I'm doing it, right? Notice what happens when I'm here. Now, why is that going on?
Because you're not balanced.
Spot on that, man. You've noticed the theme of the evening. Yes, this is not a good place for me to be. I'm feeling a bit vulnerable. I'm not very aware here. Here, I've got a lot of awareness. I can keep on board this thing, taking it up very easily. But when I'm on forward, it's going to take a little bit longer. So stay with your partner. And don't put yourself in a position of weakness if you have to. So see that movement there? Sorry. That movement there, that's a good signal. Now I can move. I maintain, I go down structurally, pretty vertically, and stay pretty upright. So I've still got a lot of peripheral vision going on. Turn very quickly. Away. Exit this way. Why do I exit this way? These feet are a lot further away than if I exit that way, aren't
Yeah,
they?
because it's difficult for me to actually go in. Up,
That still gives me plenty of time if he does do that.
Yeah.
I can be leaning back as he's doing that for me, but I put a lot of distance between me and the place. So unless he's going to walk on his hands and tap me with his feet, which I haven't seen yet. I guess it's possible.
When
It's
you
gonna
become
work
aware,
for me.
what can be done?
Right, so okay, yep, the same time. So here, I need to extend key to my partner. It needs to be a bit more vigorous. If I'm not with him, I just testing how sensitive he was, how glad he was. Yeah. So if I'm not online, then this goes badly wrong. I'll just show you on this angle. It off, he's in. My feeling has to be to him. I'm kind of pointing at his nose initially. And I have to do that with some faith and positivity.
But also keep the fingers curled slightly inwards rather than outwards. The word happen first.
Yeah, I want everything to be in line. This, none of that is good, okay? I want it to be all nicely lined up and very positive and relaxed.
Like holding the shoulders.
Yeah, just like holding the sword, okay? And again, the same intention. With a sword, you're putting your intention at the tip of the sword. You're not really thinking of the handle. That's going to make a big difference to whether he decides to attack or not. Right? So, ideally, we're not trying to look threatening. So, this is more martial, okay, and more correct, perhaps, from a martial perspective. But I'm not trying to start the aggression. That doesn't mean to say I'm not doing anything. So if I'm just, oh, there's a big bloke with a sword in front of me, then that's, I'm at his mercy, really. But I'm standing what looks very passively, but I am sending a lot of energy in his way. Yeah? So I'm still connected with him, even though I'm not making this start. But if we want to practice and get to the place where we're with him, maybe we'll do this to start with. This is a good starting place from a practice point of view because I've got this feeling of forward. That's where I want to be. Let's bring that technique up.
Okay, so you have to be very positive. And step in. I did just lose half my side, by the way. Bit unfortunate.
It's just ever so slightly kind of like move as you do it.
In. Got a little slower. Oh, this is. I enter. This one comes to here or here. This one to here. So I can either trap it. So actually, you can get that hand out very easily.
Not so easy now.
It's quite hard, isn't it? So I could just put it there. Or I can create some movement and go down and up. I think it's very important to control the head. Once I let it, it's hard to move. But if I can just shift that, then it's very easy. So, how do you like it when someone clips you around the ear hole? Anyone like that? I'm not keen on being clipped around the ear hole. I guess my dad did it, and I had to take it from him, but I didn't take it from many others. So that's not what we do. Don't club the baby seal. Love them. Love them. So it is, no, it's that kind of thing. It's very gentle. Very gentle. And once he's here, everything's out of balance. It's very easy to shift him. Yeah.
Plus, I think it's also, I should attack in such a way that like I should be able to lose my balance if I attack constantly. And kind of like you draw me out of my
Well, that's
position.
true. So if you tap for front with no one there, I'm pretty sure he doesn't really lose his balance. If I test him at the end, I know it's ages after he's finished. You know, he's pretty good. He's extended. Okay. But at the end of his technique, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit more to this. What's the balance now? Now he wants to get back into balance, which means I let him back up and shift him on the up to the down. Or just push it there.
Even when I have the full effect, at this point, then you can turn because I'm already on. Because I think I can. I thought, you know, I got my target, but then I realized that target is not there, and I have to reposition myself.
There's the
But I'm already
fact that
on.
goes on, and there's also the fact that I'm adding something to what you've got, which you're not expecting. So in real time, you don't hang around that much. Especially if coming at that speed, it's going one. In. You set the key, you're in, and you turn, and you're doing it.
Plus, I'm trying to come again. That's the reason why I fall that way. If I don't, then I'll just fall down flat.
Yeah, absolutely. So he wants to stay on his pins for as long as he can. He's always trying to follow me. Okay, so please don't attack with that vigor to start with. Okay, so I'll attack. I want you to attack with intention. Okay, so we're going to defend. Okay, what's the intention? Well, it's low.
That's your movement forward. That's about it. A bit more.
Yeah. So you know, that's kind of where we're going to start. So what about this?
Nothing.
Nothing. So I've watched quite a few videos of gradings elsewhere and practice elsewhere. It is the norm to see this. And then just stop. There's nothing going on here, and they wait for the person to do the technique, and that is a bit sad, I'm afraid. Okay. Yes, I'm not supposed to hit him. I am supposed to stop. That's good. That is good. But my intention doesn't stop. You should feel the intention. You should feel, oh, I should go something there. That was dodgy. Yep. So you don't have to go wild. You're giving him the intention that you're attacking. Yep. And your intention, as Nick said, carries on. Yeah. Okay, and how about you? You have to have something else to practice with.
Go, let's find balance.
Well, you can attack.
That side. Why would you come on that side if I've got this foot forward? Turn around and we're going to attack with that hand. Just be careful, okay? More, you fall that way because this one is not like that. And here, make sure it's super tension on the right side. If I put one, doesn't work unless I'm on the left side. Yeah, and then you can once. So, just a minute. You do turn down and up. They may turn up a bit differently. So what you don't want to do is step in there and then you turn your hip. Pull your leg back. So you just go on the ground. Step forward. Turn. Now you are in the optimal position to be right at the end.
Yeah, just keep it on, then I can actually keep. Yeah, control that. There's two ways of taking things. One, I can get back. The second one,
Yes, nice. Nice. So here you need to let me up. Unless you can take me all the way down. So we can end up doing this at the dark. But never let it go.
Yeah, at this point. Yeah, we decide here. Goes up.
That's
I
nice.
can let the flower right there.
Cool.
Step first. Yes.
That was nice. Down there. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Stepped in again. Nice. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever you see somebody, like this,
Yes.
you haven't got them. You want them to be staring at the ceiling or staring at the floor. 2, then you know you've got it. 3, 4.
You go like minimize the movement. You only have like people.
Nice. You're up. Very bad. I want you to hold up.
Yeah. So,
Now,
people from here.
You're unbalanced. Where are we
No,
going?
this one, no. This one's a
What are you
little
doing?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to know, use
No,
people from
it's
here.
not. I want to take down to the ground. You want to get up the ceiling and have a ceiling for me.
No.
But you're not going. Why not?
Yes, and now I'll follow.
What do you do when I use force? Yes, you resist, and even though your system is unbalanced, okay, you can still resist quite well because you're centered. You've got a possibility of
You guys need them. So you go.
But if I'm nice to you, 2, it's actually quite easy to move you. Yeah, so being nice is this light touch. Yeah, it's really joining. Oh, thank you, nice to see you. Yes. But as soon as I start saying, oh, God, it's Caitlin, I get a different response. Yeah. So remember to keep this hand nice and young. Yeah, right? That one's getting all the work. It's the back hand actually that does the work. Okay, so while you're looking at that, that's where your mind's focused. Nobody notices. The two is
Just
looking
give
at
this
that one.
really cover. So
To feel
once you've done
there's something
this,
going on,
yeah,
unless I give you a very strong clue. Uh-oh, there's something happening over there.
the idea is
Nice.
in your face.
Yes.
This is where we're coming. Run the body a little bit. In, and then come in here, and break. Yeah.
So Dimitri, you're picking up on that.
Head down or something like.
Yes, Quentin, I'm following and
That's the
Good.
idea.
well, the sound sometimes is not very good because you're far away. I can hear you, but sometimes I cannot hear clearly what the others are saying. It's just that today, in 5 minutes will be 10 o'clock Greek time.
Okay.
I will have to go because exceptionally today we have a women's Aikido meeting with Jamie, Kathy Park and Joanna.
Well,
And
have fun.
yeah, we have created a women's group and we just happened to have a meeting today, but at 10 o'clock because we try to synchronize the times between California and.
Yeah, Brazil. It's not easy.
So I will leave you in a few minutes.
No
I will
worries.
I will join you next Thursday. Thank you so much.
Bye, Lena.
Bye, Nico. Bye, everybody.
Okay, so just a point there that I was okay, so we get to this case, where actually he's pretty unbalanced. And you followed that up.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's still kind of defending himself there. I want him to be thinking about this hand. So I'm trying to draw his attention to that because that appears there. But it's this hand that does the work. Yeah. So often we do these magic tricks. It looks like that one's wrong, but it's that one actually that does it. Okay, so we're going to slightly unbalance you. You're going to balance. So in any way you use the wish. Okay, that's fine. So
Yeah. Okay.
you know, use a certain amount of force there.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of like even harder my back.
It was not on your back, but he's still standing.
Just about.
He was still standing. Definitely. He cried out a bit, so I obviously was a bit strong. I apologize for that. But he was still standing. Because, you know, you guys have got a good idea of what it takes to be centered. And if someone starts to, you know, use physical, you come, so go solid again. Right? So the last thing I need to do is, when I move his mind to here, to show him that that's actually what I want to do. This one needs to stay very light. But there's a strong sense of connection and giving here. So it's not, oh, dirty rag time. Oh, I haven't touch that. It's very much, oh, my good buddy. I'm really giving of myself in the touch. Yeah. It's a blend like you're strolling through the park with a best friend or partner. Yeah, it's that type of connection where you do feel as one rather than I'm trying to do something to him or does it, I'm not really interested in the connection, I'm only interested in the separation. If I get rid of him as quickly as possible, I won't have to connect with him anymore. In Aikido, what we're trying to do is we're trying to maintain it as long as possible. And then does he want to resume the connection? Yeah, apparently he does. So maintain the connection until the point it becomes dangerous to do so. Yeah, so I create the space after that. Maybe you might say, okay, let's go for a beer and talk about this. Okay, well, let's have a different sort of connection. Yeah, but we maintain the integrity, the martial integrity and common sense, whilst never really trying to do any damage. So I'm not saying to say that the martial technique doesn't provide us with the tools to create the damage. Of course it does. You know, we can break bones, we can kill. We just won't probably get a lot of fun from doing that. Probably disturbs us for quite a while. If it doesn't disturb you for quite a while, you need to go see a psychiatrist quickly. Should disturb you.
What you said actually resonates quite strongly with me because every movement should be with a small tweak, especially kind of like the mind. For example, like someone whose life is in danger, and you have to deal with something that it has to be either final, kind of like kill somebody, It's kind of like not really working in a war zone, so it doesn't happen in at least our reality here. But get somebody on the ground and make sure that they're not easily going to get it up again too soon. So you can actually deal with the situation kind of like, in 3 meters down the path. And you can either choose at this point, kind of like, because ideally you should have broken the balance of the person at the moment of impact, the moment of touch. If you have that, then you have control really of the other person's body. And your movement, your physical movement should be in such a way, but at any point of the movement, you should not really be negatively impacted from the movement. That you still are supposed to stay in control, stay balanced throughout, which means the other person is now always out of balance or ever trying to find a balance point again.
Absolutely. So our movement is really precise. So, I'm very intrigued.
And now it's better.
It's pretty much for him to feel he's a little more control.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what happened there was, I'm good. You see, I'm nice and upright. I've got him in front of my center. If you took a freeze frame of that, that's not really nice. Let's do that then. So that's where he's looking to get back to. So what does he do to do that? Takes the step. Right? So if my timing's a bit off, I'm a bit slow, he's back in there. So I'm constantly changing the speed changing until in the end, the technique is there. I do that by maintaining my own personal balance, but also staying in balance more with the situation than the person, because he's out of balance. I'm looking to make sure that continues until we reach the conclusion of the technique. And then give them a chance to reset. Because we do Aikido, we don't do jiu-jitsu or karate where we might not finish it. Yeah.
But we should have the potentiality of
Have the potential. Shiran is a killing technique, right? No, so the idea is really to take his neck. If you drop him on the mat, neck first, bang, or on the back of your knee, and break his back as he's going down. That's the potential. This is where this comes from. You know it? No, because that's where the art comes in. And then we want to get back to each other next week as well. I hope. But we so you'll always hear me say, I want you to do your shiranagi from here. Because ultimately that's where I can focus on the best. And I know I'm in the same position. But you can make rules as long as you follow the principles. Yeah? But only once you've got the principle embedded in your body and your mind, can you get away with physical variations which might be exploited by people who understand the principle better than you. Yeah. Okay. It's a technique. From which form? Oh, that's right. I put it on side. Was expecting that right all the time. Yeah. So you want to trust me to understand. Yes, I'm in one day. One here, blend. Now I want to take it out. I don't want to enter. I don't want to go down. I want this way. And now I can blend it. I like to pin it. So, blend, and I pin it around that leg while staying close to the body. I'd much rather end up behind him than in front of him, for fairly obvious reasons. Fairly obvious reasons. This is much better for him. If he walks forward now, he's walking. If he does what we were talking about at the beginning of the class and he keeps his intention coming forward, then the technique creates itself. But if he comes to a blinding stop, stop, That's my choice. You want to finish it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's not always appropriate to do so.
Well, we can learn how to do it on the mat, but of course, because Aikido, like its predecessor, you were not supposed to be able to take a kendo, but we relax at the last second, and you should be relaxing, so that the other person can actually fall safely. So even that's a shift idea. If you don't relax the arm as you drop, then I'm going head down.
So, the way I first learned this was that you put your arms up like this. So, whichever way he goes, you can make a circle. Now, not a bad idea, really. Oh, bones, oh, bones.
Five muscles.
Yes. Okay, so let's do that. Now we're on round it, round it out. We can do that dance together. You know, round there, now just put it on the hip. I've got much further distance to travel than you do. That's another switch. So the other trick is never stop. Because if you stop and I continue,
And use the thing.
all the advantages you get.
It's this, but obviously it's that you want. Yes. Because this slides, this, because in the end, go. So this is just an extra hit.
Which is fine.
Okay, think of this first and then the other one comes.
Now, when you do that, you're on the- So if I
And
can-
don't step back, if anything, either stay or step back.
As you do this, that's down to it. So I get that instead. Now you want to come up, and as you're coming up, I'm always there.
Again, it doesn't matter as long as it's you have the ability to.
Remind you of the movement between the class.
Again, we will swing the legs.
Yeah, there you go.
How you used to do it.
Okay. Thanks. What hang on in this? And you're going to walk around that way. Keep that one still, the other one walks around it. Now, at that
In
point,
the end, controlling
you have the tiny circle.
each of the opportunity.
That one doesn't move, so that one moves a foot circle. My inside one just next to you moves a foot and a half, and this one does. I'll never catch you up.
Yeah. Almost like if you meet the shore. You bring it down. You see? One more, so slow.
Yeah.
Okay, like almost like a grip, meet the shore. Okay, oh, meet the shore,
I like to make this one slip.
and then.
So that I got this idea of down, this. Because what can happen is you get the idea of touch instead. So that was quite like. And I have some creativity. The other thing that I like to do because
And so,
is
it happens very.
I like to be kind of thinking inside me. So if I'm thinking behind that's one feeling.
You want to cut from down, up.
Inside you,
Once
you
you
get
cut
entirely different feeling.
here, and then you go. Here,
Drop it down at the back. So just put a foot on there. One hand.
Yeah.
Here.
you go in the next
Left hand is going to go there.
Yeah.
This will look much more efficient. Just from looking there. This way. Side.
Three times you can also swing right away. And
Put the elbow up, then you can do down the back of the back. Just, and then you see.
only at this point you're taking the balance. I have to push it down.
Actually, you can break the balance. You can't feel anything because of the lines. A line
Ah,
straight
there you
down
go.
behind you.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
One. Now, the line is,
It goes straight this way. You can block.
of course, your hand goes in exactly the same direction as the
Where
first
this
one.
is pushing for the back.
Well, my mind is.
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah.
That's it. So drop it behind you first, see how resistant that can be. Very resistant. And then you go, look, down where you hold it. It's a bit of center, and then out my center line. That's it. Yes. Honestly, really, I think do that just in front.
Probably, you made me do the hard work. Yes. Something like practice for a long time. Too late. So this point. What's wrong with doing this?
It's entirely different feeling.
Yeah. I don't think it's. You make you work.
Anything physically, just like.
You go. For me.
I'm going to. When you sort of check it out.
I'll attack you. I'll attack you.
That's the case.
I think you're that fast.
Yeah.
I have to take you out, I was supposed to take, I lose my elbow.
What's gonna happen? Yeah.
What do you do with that elbow like that?
Plus.
Yeah, you've got that.
And then.
There's an awful lot of tension in the movement.
Okay.
Whereas if you can get there and get that sinking being, so I think you're all trying to leave, you haven't really got. This is the way you keep away from me. So I get to do that overnight. It's a lot of, sweetness. Whereas there, you kind of throw for a second. By the time you go back up. And then, the first control the end of this. Yes. That's much nicer feeling for me. Okay, so, what you do is. Not much happening there, it's too good. Then beautiful surface, lovely surface. Just didn't have much impact on it.
You're supposed to be going there first. There, and then it's not beside there. No.
I don't. I'm letting you be. So I can raise it. What I want now is down this.
Yeah, so actually, there's a balance.
Yeah. So by the time we get down where we met, and you're just like, come in.
So all depends on kind of like your position really. You dictate with your power, I suppose you move it.
Altogether feeling from the beginning, still be small down, so just slow it down so that you know, you can see you came in.
Well, let them talk naturally.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of wanting to go down anyway.
That was a different approach with the same principles, because the opposite approach is you do the work rather than me. I suppose that's why I'm coming in almost using this, and then also make it stop and other things happen. You can try to continue because the movement, it's not coming in.
Every time you've done that, but as you push, there's a kind of stop there, and it makes you want to do that.
How is it?
You definitely got my arm.
Because it is like here and then.
Like, it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
got control in there. Whereas when you take it down, I really haven't got any chance of thinking, I need to get a balance. By the time I've done that, it's too late.
Yeah. So those only starting to improve, it stops from the attack. Then you have to actually be proactive and say, okay, No, out of the way there. And then maybe kind of like real tackle this, something else.
It's just that there's always what you do. Not if somebody. You want to check it, you always start recognizing it's stop there. Once it's done,
Should not stop. Yeah, I'm not sorry. I not turned properly.
far too good for me to feel like I've got any chance. Come on, it's so enough.
Yeah. Have to stay. So keep that as a term.
Excellent. Right, useful. We love. Always something. Right, so when we do shin really well, what happens is the elbow comes up, and you can see it like it comes down. So I can follow this line down very easily. But if you don't do it so well, you get this kind of thing going on. So that being up in the air, you see his chest and everything. Okay, but this is the position of the business. This is up. So if I follow my normal line down, which is I'm thinking I want to go down his back, I never get there because his fingers are pointing that direction. So I've got to go that way a bit in order to go down. So if I go that way, yeah, well, it's not really starts, right? We'll never get there. If I just try to go down here, it's very difficult.
Because through my sentence, my most strong point. So you have to be on the periphery.
I can't, but if I can get, when I'm pointing there, you're pointing down towards the ground. So, you always have to think, where's the end of the system? In this case, it's the fingers. So if the fingers are pointing that way and you try to go down, then it's really hard. But if you just carry on pointing them to the ground, not so hard. At the same time, put the key through him, then it works nicely. So we have a mechanical on the other side. That's right. So if I'm thinking about the mechanics of this, I go to the side, that's exactly what you told me to do, Quentin, but it's not working. Okay, that's disappointing. That's because I'm doing more than that. I'm going down through me. Yeah. So it's not a nice picture. But the guillotine doesn't just cut on the very outside, it cuts across the whole blade, right? So you've got to think of the guillotine going down through him, I'm afraid. And it shouldn't. It works quite nicely. Yeah. So there's something going on with my mind, and there's something going on with the body in terms of shaping it correctly. And it's exactly the same thing as I was saying before. It's not this. So it's not vicious. It's light feeling. It's very light feeling. The desire to kind of really connect and have a positive impact on it. That sounds weird, doesn't it? But that's what it is. I'm not trying to be nasty. It's a positive energy.
I think it's pedagogically easier to teach technique in such a way that when everything's going well, the self-confidence that the Tori has is enough to kind of basically get the stress out of, oh, I must control, I must throw, I must do the must rather than what I could throw, but like, it's not necessary. You're kind of like, well, I have to throw because it's necessary in all the states.
Okay. So typically for me, I like to paint pictures, don't I? No, not for everybody. Yeah. So my natural default is to give you a picture to concentrate on. But we can concentrate on a feeling. So what does it feel like to care? It must be feeling like to care. So and that you want to be with and be close to. So
I'm going to try and just create that empathy that you were talking about, that just good fellow feeling to be with them. Now, and what goes on in my body when I do that? Does it come tight and tough? No, it doesn't. Not when I'm being empathetic. It's kind of to be supportive and helpful. So the muscles stay very soft. It's a strong sense of what it's connection. Eternal love, amorous love, all of those kind of feelings of wanting to be close to another human being generally don't turn up in those situations. And it feels good. We kind of a smile on our face, so that can help. I can, oh, Nick, hi, how are you? It's not like active out, because the body creates that. You must have had days where you just don't feel really good. If somebody sees you and you light up for a few seconds and you're fine, then you're busting. The miserable face of whatever it is. Okay, we've all done that. But for just a second or two, you were able to kind of spark out there and fool your way through the situations and then they felt okay. Because that's what it is. Partly people do. Partly just down. So that's the feeling you're looking for. And we're just going to do that part of the exercise where you're just trying to fit them down from somebody who's pretty centered. At the end of it, not to here, they're pretty centered. But we like that, we're probably not so centered, the task is easier. Let's try. Here's one I can tell you. Not lose that. That's it. Going to have to stay right.
Yeah.
There's always that tendency to want to ski slope down. It's not as another one.
Get to the point where kind of like it's locked.
Just following gravity straight down. You can do same shape, but with a different thing.
It's what friend would you like?
So again,
Just choose your one
take
experiment.
the elasticity away. That's it. Let's see if I can replicate this. I know if you're able to do like this. Yes.
Do you know what? Okay, preparation. So you went up to go down. Actually start with the down. I'm just kidding. Yes. So.
Hopefully you're looking at walking pain.
Feel that. As soon as you feel that, you just follow that feeling.
Again, take away the movement and have natural movement. Yeah, now this is the movement. So if you can walking like this.
So the only reason your hand stays up here is because I'm supporting.
Because I'm already looking at the game. That's right. I'm not doing my hands. So he's going to use the advantage. Yeah. That's supposed to be also.
Go on. She's brilliant by now. No, it's not yet. You're already apologizing. Come on, no. Okay, so what direction are you thinking about? Because what I'm feeling is you go into that one first. What direction you're taking? It's just giving the weight of your hands. Did that work a bit better? Yes. So just let gravity do the job for you. What are we going to do now? Took me to ask you what you're doing. But I think so.
On my shoulder.
You go.
So the
Yeah, why not? To go, put your elbow up. You move down.
We let you do it.
No, very good. That was a really good one. What is it? Oh, goodness. Whoa. Very nice. Okay, so we've got a way out. Let's just discover a way. So someone's kind of cocked it up a bit, and they've said we've got our solution. Okay, there's another solution, and that's to bring the elbow up. Kind of like that. Not very much. So I like to play the flute. What do you do? One finger on, two finger on, three finger on, four finger on. So I don't. Any musical instrument played with club hands, never good. Never sounds any good. Fingers are quite delicate. Whatever instrument you're playing, you've got complete control of fast, slow, always relaxed. Always relaxed. Now, the other position. If you want to solve it that way, that's fine. Wonderful. What? Of course you.
So it's kind of like getting the grip right. It's supposed to get this one and then no.
That one happened. See, you're already helping yourself. Now the other one. If the other one's kind of full, you're so good at the full, you don't get the feel of that one. That one, this one just connects. Yes. Then it's much easier to pick up.
I suppose you take also your mind.
There, the seesaw right there. If the weight's over there, this much easier to get that one balanced.
More like a football.
I think you feel.
No, that's the weight doesn't want to shift.
Yeah.
Put the weight at the end, it shifts really easy.
I think it's also taking away that elasticity that you have. So, for example,
Yeah, that's exactly what that part of it gone.
Yeah.
And then take the rest of it forward. It was touch there, wasn't it? So it's a gentle touch.
It like feels through your body. Because you just the hand. Yeah, it kind of it doesn't work.
That was great.
But kind of like but kind of stop rather than being
And that's kind of it, isn't it? Yeah, so I would tend not to do this and then that.
Yeah, it's good together.
It would be, together, exactly.
Yeah.
Like a seesaw. So one end's going down, the other end's going up. That's much.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
Okay.
Just narrow down. Not drop it. No, that's a really good one. Now I can do the same thing. Off you go. Well, yes. Okay. Remember not to fall. Do you want to go? Yes. You remember where that was. Excellent. Go backwards. Never varies. Always just up and down. There, you want to be very careful right then. Nice.
If it less, because you want the physical power. Nothing wrong with that. I think the force at the end, just take the slack and just go with it slowly. Because I'm already lost. For example, take the slack here. Now, if you strength, then I'm trying to turn around. I don't want to go through that because it's being injury. So at this point, slowly going to put your balance to the center.
Oh, there you are.
Because otherwise,
Oh.
you get me along.
The first thing
Otherwise,
is,
it becomes strong and it's impossible for me to come and get through that center. Because it's impossible. Yeah, keep your center there. And there. There's no way I can get through, even though I'm really supposed to be going out. No way, because I cannot go through your center point. Impossible, maybe. Better walk. That's terrible.
oh, yes.
It could, of course, but
It
it's-
works.
that's not the point, is it? No, that's not.
Fancy that. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
I get this going. Ground floor, second floor. Please don't stop me on the second floor. Sorry.
Almost. Yeah, but it's, yes. It doesn't be like a free flow all the way down, is it? Oh, yeah, yes. It's a blocker that means something has to go.
So. Very important. Connection with that. As soon as it becomes a mechanical thing. I never hold conversation with them. Then on occasion with the headmaster. But generally, if I'm having a good balanced conversation, I'm always there in my conversation. As long as I can. As soon as I forget about his humanity, there's a relationship there. It's very unlikely unless he's incredibly unbalanced. Or I'm incredibly strong. But something like that is going to work. Yeah, I have to remember, Nick, but this ridiculous idea to work.
I think kindness brings forth confidence as well. Because you know what the other person is kind of like unstable in their mind. So what's the point of kind of clashing with it?
The big picture. So,
That brings it back to balance and control.
it does. I don't know how closely we work with forces in the work, but we carry this to people.
I'm very good with voices.
Well, we're really-
Of course, psychologists. Pick one psychologist. And behaviors.
Good, okay. So, if you've got a slightly nervous horse or a slightly nervous dog, is the solution to whip them?
No.
Absolutely not, right? So you still maintain a connection. You don't try and impose the bossiness in a physical way. You create a bond between them, right?
These are your time.
Right. And if you can take a course from that position to loving you, well, kind of the horses is loving most of them, but it's loving most of them, it's true. And if you have a problem with people, of which I'm sure you have through in your time, again, does it help if you put them in detention all the time?
No, it doesn't work.
Or chuck them out of school, never works, right? There's never a relationship that you can build them. Really, really tough, but when you get those kids to turn a corner, isn't that the best feeling ever? And it's never.
It makes the job worth it.
Yeah, it's never through very bad. But sometimes I'm sure with time with dogs, horses, people, you draw eyes and know that's not. It's not usually by cutting their throats.
This is where you put yourself in there.
Yes.
What is the point?
Exactly.
Let me help me understand what's going on.
Why have you turned out this way? Let me back in the first place. I want to show you what love can do. Yeah. And people, nobody's bonded with that child. And giving you time to say they've seen that nobody's interested in. You show them that you can push through that and show get the interest. Then wow. They will remember you forever. You remember them? Too.
I think the biggest issue is that not that as a teacher, for example, it's not that we don't have the best intentions for the pupils, but it's kind of you are so constrained in the way that you're supposed to be in control of the class, and like the time is always critical. This person that misbehaves, that like they're not doing it on purpose, or if they're doing it because they have got this way psychologically, to feel that they have some kind of self-confidence, but in the end, you will have to lose that. Your patience, because you say that, well, I have to kind of track you out, otherwise the rest will also suffer. So you have to always work to find balance between how much kind of attention do I give this child
Get
when the
entirely-
others are.
Not always easy to say it's a perfect solution. I just said to turn those kids around.
Yeah, you only
It
have
will
to
never
really-
have, it will
it has to
never
be
happen
personal.
when
It has to
you
be
chuck them
personal.
out and say, well, I don't think that works for me. Doesn't mean to say that's the wrong decision. It might be the right decision. But
Maybe
you
at the
never
time,
turn
but
that
not
child
long
around.
term, not long term.
You never turn that child around. You can't be up to enough, you're not the ones.
Yeah.
So left to do that. So that's really what Aikido is really trying to do as well. We're always trying to find that meeting place. We always go one step further than our partner in terms of our ability to give. They may not be able to give a lot, and they absolutely take, but we're all able to give a bit more. And then, if we give the most, get the most. It's good. It's weird. To be selfish for the unselfish. You get pretty good luck. When you take, you lose friends, you lose relationships. You might accumulate a lot of money, but you don't tend to have a really happy life.
Yes, if you can run.
It's up to-
If you have so much money, you can pay your psychologist. Why you're so happy?
That's exactly what happens, right? How mad is that? Right, so I think we'll call it a day. But just reflect, when's the last time you were at balance off the mat? What did you do? Did you recognize it? Or did you take a moment to be saying? And all the days when we do that. That's why we keep coming back to the mat, to keep working at it. Remembering that what we learn here is
Professional experience only if you haven't really resolved the situation as in the ideal way, then perhaps kind of still resounds inside you. You think like, why did this guy do this? Or I could have handled it better.
Yeah.
And then you're glad because perhaps well, it could have been handled much better.
the situations that are the hardest for men are the ones where I know I've been able to. The ones where other people were being very naughty, but I managed to maintain my dignity and standards and compassion. The door is always open. The door is open. So, I've had the example. I'm not at all. But I'm thinking there's some people who didn't behave very well when they were at this club. Stormed away and helped them back and stormed away. Unbelievably, they're coming back again. Not this every year. But reconnecting and valuing whatever. So that's kind of nice. And I never said, you will never go to my doors because you weren't so nice to me. Was always happy to say,
Sometimes when they make the effort to come again, it means that they're not really that opposed to what you have to say. Giving another go, kind of like subconsciously thinking like, well,
this is wrong.
In all fairness, I am now because I think that. That's the truth.
Okay, let's finish. Well, there's no one there.
No one there.
So we don't have this today. Yeah, thank you. It's such a big thing that we're talking about. But I mean, enjoy it. It can be as little as you want it to be. It can be just that physical level we're talking about, balance. Like the environment, you know, somewhat out of balance at the moment. It will bring it back itself back into balance in the end. Actually, we want to go along with it or not. The planet's teaching us a lesson in its own way. It's doing Aikido with us.
It would be balanced, whether we like it or not.
We'll get back there. Just may not be with it at the end.
Right. Like that, it's me.
Great. You know that I love the bow again because that's the one real chance to start in balance and finish in balance.
Those would be good manners to have an appropriate approach to the effort. You see a judo supposed to have that embedded.
Let's be honest.
Nice.